Good morning and welcome to Better Thyself segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. We as human beings always face all uncertainties, and the uncertainties make us feel that we are unable to take any action. We are confused, we are nonplussed, we are puzzled. So, how to cope with uncertainty in troubled times is the crux of the issue. When things go as planned, we feel very comfortable. But when life throws a curveball, it causes anxiety, causes stress, tension, and with all the attendant problems. The current COVID 19 pandemic is one such instance which has pulled the carpet from under our feet. But has it really? It has definitely increased uncertainty over the economy, employment, finance, relationship, and of course physical and mental health. Yet, as human beings, we crave security. Fear and diffidence make us powerless and drains us emotionally. Don't you feel so? I am aware many people can tolerate some level of uncertainty in their lives. Some of you really enjoy taking risks. Others get overwhelmed by the unpredictability of life. But then tell me, when is life not unpredictable? No matter how the situation may be bad, horrible, devastating, there are steps you can take to better equip yourself to face the unknown with the courage. The word consists of pairs of opposites. Pleasure and pain go together. Joy and sorrow are companions. Honor and dishonor are integral part of life. So things will change and change for the better, but not always. They can change for the worse as well. Hopefully for the better. The world is certainly changing, and this change is definitely unpredictable. Yet, in this constant flux of things, in constant change, an unpredictable world of up and down, we want a steady pattern. And we want a steady pattern of good things, which is not possible. If you want only good things in life, you are in for disappointment and frustration. So, since you have no control on the world, you have absolute control on your thoughts, feelings, and actions. You can face the situation with the resilience, optimism, confidence, or meekly surrender to negativity, pessimism, and fear. One thing you must never forget, we have hundreds of freedoms, but there is one freedom that no law can take away from you. No such law has been formulated or is possible to be formulated by the state that can take away your attitude. That is intrinsic to you, inherent in you. So, facing uncertainty, use your attitude properly, deploy, gain strength within, and you will save through the challenges and uncertainties of life. It's just your attitudinal change that is required. You have the choice. You have to use it judicially and survive, or not use it and suffer. And when I say survive, I should actually be saying thrive, thrive in the challenge. That is a major issue. Pain is an essential part of life. You cannot forget it. As I always quote Hardy, happiness is an occasional episode in the general drama of pain. But you can choose not to suffer. Suffering happens when you identify with the incident and keep on mooning on it, dwell on it, think about it, get over that. You suffer in anticipation when calamity strikes. What would happen? What might happen? What others would say? Would I be able to get well? Would I be able to keep my job? Face the situation as it is rather than anticipating what may never happen. And if it happens, you can't control it. As I always say, if you can't control it, accept it. And if you can control it, then control it. You don't have to worry. So, what is to worry about? An uncontrollable thing, don't bother. A controllable thing, act. Then you suffer in anticipation and the calamity strikes. And you grieve over it even after it's over. That's the second thing. You first grieve before the calamity, and then you start grieving after the calamity. Now, grieving after the calamity is like running after the thief who has put your house in arson. Imagine somebody has set fire to your house, and you see him starting running away. What do? Do you start running after the arsonist? Or do you start putting the fire out? Choice is yours. If your attitude is positive, you'll say, okay, I've seen it, I'll report, but let me first save my house. But if you start running after the arsonist, your house will be burned down. You may catch him, you may not catch him. But your loss is definite. So what you need is bring your intellect, bring your logic, bring your reason into play. The rational aspect of you into the picture has to be brought in. Assess the situation. Focus on what can be done and do it. Do it without allowing traditional fears to traumatize you, to make you feel more scared. Don't forget there's one problem with our mind. It's a human mind always imagines the worst. Very few people have that knack of not imagining the worst. Mind always torments you, robs you of peace and tranquility. And it's very right that mind can make heaven of hell and hell of heaven, and more often it makes hell of heaven. The intellect has the capacity to control the mind and keep you on an even keel. And that is mindfulness. Keep your mind in control. Use the existing intellect to control the wavering mind. Let it be steadied. Let it be firm. Let it not waver. Fortify the intellect. And here, the knowledge of Vedanta comes very handy. The Vedantic knowledge tells you that unnecessarily worrying for things on which you have no control is of no use. So you have got to think independently, and that calls for three qualities: question, inquire, reflect. Secondly, in the times of uncertainty, you have to build inner reservoir that will enable you to weather the storm. Your ethical values, your authenticity would let strength and cheer you in the moment of crisis. You have got to look beyond yourself. Thought of self increases fear and insecurity. So enlarge your vision from petty to lofty, from mundane to a much higher level, from being selfish and self centered to be more cosmos oriented in your attitude. Take up a cause. Indulge in gratitude for the things that they are there. You may be very sick, but don't forget, you are still breathing. You may be lonely, but look at your partner. He or she supports you like hell. So you have got to move from the attitude of grabbing to acceptance and then giving. From profiteering to offering to yourself your near and dear ones. You have to rein in the negative thoughts, and they are dislike, aversion, and criticism. Adopt an attitude of positivity. Be grateful for your present. And most important is grateful. You see, I was once in Burkina Faso and we were going for a walk in the evening with my horse. And there were nice, luscious berries. I was tempted to eat them, but then you are never sure what sort of the product it might be. But my horse, intelligent as he was, he said, okay, why don't you taste it? I tasted it. It was heavenly, sweet. I asked the name, and he said it's tasteberry. I just remembered it now, this incident. It happened way back in 1989. We came back, plucked some berries, and the hotel I ordered for the dinner, the taste berry was still in my mouth. And everything I was was tasting very sweet. I couldn't understand the reason thereof. And my host, who was still with me, said, look at Dr. Lamba. This is because of the taste berry you have tasted. Once you taste it for a couple of hours, everything you eat would taste sweet. Even the worst possible chilies would not irritate you. You would enjoy them as tasty. At the most, they might become just not pungent at all, but enjoyable, spicy. So your attitude has to be like taste berry. Everything which comes becomes sweet. The bitterness is lost. And that is possible only when you have a positive attitude, a considerate attitude as the most important, and a great sense of gratitude. Gratitude to yourself that you're alive, gratitude to your partners in life, gratitude towards your circle, social circle, which uplifts you and sustains you. Gratitude for all the blessings that you have. You are sick, but you're still mobile. You're not in coma, you're not in vegetative state. Isn't that better? Compare yourself that, but I'm not saying be content with that. No. Gratitude for the blessings that they are, that you are having. And gratitude to yourself for having the strength not to be tossed about and buffeted by the changes of life. Is there no anchor? Is there no lighthouse in the world that would not be affected by the storms? And yet the lighthouses are there. Ships still drop the anchor. They might be tossed sometime, but then that is very rare. The search for the meaning of life leads to the pathway to the ultimate goal. And that goal gives the protection from the twists and turns in life. Then you will be like the wise old man described by Oliver Goldsmith. For him in vain the annual seasons roll, who bears eternal summer in his soul. So imagine the beautiful simile, the eternal summer in the soul. The autumn, the winter, the dreary winters would have no meaning. It will spring all around. And don't forget, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? No, it won't be. But you need an attitude to overlook the winter and visualize the spring that is there. The darker the night, the more bright is going to be the morning. So you have to face your uncertainty with an attitudinal change. The attitude of being positive, the attitude of having confidence in yourself, your sports circle, and an attitude of gratitude that still is better than it could have been worse. That would make you an authentic human being for whom The trust, the sharp pangs of distress are but a part of life. They would be there, and slowly and steadily they would not be there. But you, as a human being, would have the privilege of getting over those periods of uncertainty, the periods of pain, the periods of misery, and that would be possible only because you have the capability which has not been eroded by doubt, which has not been diminished by your being cowardly. Don't forget, cowards die many times before their death. Brave die but once. So what? Let the problems be there. We as human beings shall overcome. We shall overcome. And I'm sure you shall. Thank you.